evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ambassadorial Wing. And tonight, we're kicking off another 90s retro review, and we're talking about Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. And this evening, I have got with me the lovely and talented and awesome, you know her, you love her, AVP Alicia Victoria Parker. And we might have a few other people joining us. And to everybody that's out there watching in internet land, whether you are on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, welcome to the Ambassadorial Wing. Thank you all for being here tonight. And Alicia, how you doing? It's been a while. It's been a few minutes since we.
Awesome. I'm doing so great.
Yeah, and you've got a little reason to be celebrating because you just hit a milestone, didn't you?
I sure did. And it would have been without this incredible person that's next to me that let me join on so many things of his streams. He's been so supportive, and everybody in this community has been so supportive. It's not just my channel, it's everybody's channel. I have 1,000 subscribers, and it's like because of everybody in this community. So thank you all so much.
Yeah. And this lady right here has earned it. And to the chat, Mountains of Elysium and Brian Hill, Jack of all trades and master of none. Good evening, gentlemen. Mountains, I know it's late for you, so thank you for staying up to the wee hours. And hey, Brian, if you want to join us, if you want to talk some Austin Powers, let me know and I'll DM you a link, bud. And also to the chat, Robert Rose Jr. Good evening, welcome, good to see you again. And yeah, this is good. Last night was a really good stream. Love that stream. That was a whole lot of fun talking about mystery men. But tonight we're gonna break this. We are gonna have a great time talking about Austin Powers because honestly, this is a favorite movie of mine. This is actually the kickoff of I think a relatively decent series of movies. Mm-hmm. And honestly, this movie puts a smile on my face.
Yes.
Let's put a smile on that face. But, you really can't talk about this movie without doing a little bit of history because this movie is a bit of a parody to a limited franchise from back in the 1960s, and that was the James Colburn spy movies, Our Man Flint, and In Like Flint.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Alicia, did you ever see those? Have you ever watched them on
let me see. I think I saw mostly James Bond. I also saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was sort of not quite as spooky as this, but this is obviously a spoof of all spy movies combined from that era because there's so many things like Get Smart.
Yes.
The Avengers.
Yeah, totally.
99, all of that. So it's like Naked Gun without being Naked Gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many things in here that you have to blink and you'll miss it because there's so much that happens in this because there's so many references to spy stuff, the gadgets, the girls, the cars, the villain.
Yes, and I will say this for Michael Myers before he kind of fell off a cliff, which I'm kind of sad to say that because I really like Michael Myers. He's one of my favorite actors. I think he had great comedic timing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, him playing both Dr. Evil and Austin Powers, great job. And I love the fact that they kind of modeled Dr. Evil after Blofeld in for James Bond. And he was also modeled after, for heaven's sakes, Dr. No.
Yeah, Dr. No, yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Because you can see the way he talks to him all the time. Like he's always saying, like when he's stroking the cat, when he's stroking the cat, Dr. No and Dr. It's like, what?
Well,
And then you have to look carefully, like, oh, that's a reference of this. This is a reference of that.
mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, and hey, Brian, I sent you a link, so if you want to pop on and join us, links in your DM on Twitter. So come on over, join the fun. And Brian's like, this is a movie franchise
I didn't either, Brian. I did not like. No, I never liked that character. Even though Mike Myers is playing that character, it's like,
yeah,
no, no. He's so cringy in that one. No.
Yeah, I would kind of, but I will say the one other thing I want to comment on, and here he is.
Yeah, I never liked that bastard. I thought he was.
Me neither.
Yeah,
That's
it's just too over the top. I kind of think Austin Powers was like the double-edged sword for Mike Myers because it really kind of boosted his career in a sense with the first one, but by the third one, it was just like because I did not like Goldmember at all.
No, that one was good.
The first two were actually really good. I did enjoy the first two a lot. They were honestly the first one I think is by far the best of them. The second one does have good parts to it. It does. I think the third one got too convoluted. But tonight we're going to talk about the things about the first Austin Powers, and we might go a little bit into the second one a little bit, and everything just depends on where this conversation takes us. But Brian, I know it's been a while since you and I have streamed together, at least on my channel, and it is really great to have you back, man.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I had to show up my nephew real quick. I was like, I'm live. Go.
Dude, it's all right.
It's always great to be back. I told Enosh I'd be on with him later, so I don't know how long I can stay, but
that's okay.
Other than that, I'm down to watch a little bit of it though.
Well, we're not doing
review.
Right?
That's right. No watch party review. Never mind. I'll
just review. I'm giving LDG a break. I've been bringing LDG Pixels ragged with all my watch parties. I'm like, I'm going to give him a break. We're just going to go back to something simpler. Just do reviews.
There you go. Have you talked about Mustafa yet? Will Ferrell's character?
No, I haven't, but we can. We totally can.
Ow! You shot me in the arm.
Yes, and welcome, DD Myers. Thank you for popping in. The first one was the best. Yes, I will agree. The humor was on point. Say one more time, my Brian.
It had all the good one-liners. You know, like,
who
does number 2 work for?
Who does number 2 work for? And of course, you got cameo by Tom Arnold.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like him from Tom Arnold? I'm sorry, Tom Arnold gets a bum rap. I thought he was actually a pretty good actor just because he was married to Satan?
Roseanne.
Roseanne Barr.
Or as we call her, Satan. kind of a heart.
Just
you gotta remember Mike Myers got his start on SNL, and of course Dana Carvey was on SNL. And who did Dana Carvey? What was one of Dana Carvey's best bits? The church lady. What was one for catch lines? Could it be Satan, Aiden? But I digress.
Oh, if it wasn't for Wayne's World, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. So
I have to do a review of that movie, or even a watch party, one or the other. I don't care which.
It's one of the greatest movies that came out of SNL, really.
I'm actually considering doing like a stream about the good SNL movies that came out.
Like The Ladies' Man.
Ooh.
Never saw it.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm a huge
Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows. I'm a huge Tim Meadows
fan.
I liked Tim Meadows. Fun fact: on the Peacock app, they actually have old episodes. They have like going almost all the way to the back of the beginning of SNL, all the old episodes.
Nice. I love the 80s, late 80s, where Mike Myers came in with like Phil Hartman and all those characters. That was great.
Yeah. Well, as they said once when they were talking about like that cast, it was like the cast was so huge. The opening credits went on for forever. Starring Dana Carvey, Jan Hooks. Julius Sweeney, Kevin
Mike
Nealon,
Myers,
Mike Myers,
Norm Macdonald,
Chris Rock.
Dennis Miller.
Oh yeah, Dennis Miller was good for Weekend Update.
Oh, he was brilliant for Weekend Update.
Yes.
And yes, Robert Rose, that is a statement I can wholeheartedly. That was actually one of the very first movies, or one of my earliest reviews I did for my channel was Blues Brothers. And I think we're getting close to having a watch party for Blues Brothers sometime next year.
Oh yeah, we're on a mission from God.
Yeah, we do not, but with one condition. We do not acknowledge Blues Brothers 2000. It does not exist.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
Exactly. He gets it. Brian gets it.
We never.
I know what it is, but I've never seen it, so don't worry about it. We don't mention the garbage.
We don't mention the garbage.
Okay. You know how you weren't supposed to look in the Ark of the Covenant and Raiders of the Lost Ark?
That's what you're not supposed to see.
You're not supposed to watch Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh no, John Belushi, no deal. Like
no,
yeah. Well,
they didn't have Jim Belushi. I was like, no, you didn't sell me.
You had. Now, don't get me wrong, and we'll get back on topic here in a minute.
Well, I like John Goodman. He's great, but
yeah, John Goodman's good and everything, but
yeah, he's decent.
Just not in this movie,
right?
But getting back on point with Austin Powers. This is kind of like a mashup of, like Alicia was saying, we started talking about, of Flint, from Our Man Flint, played by James Coburn, of James Bond and all his different iterations. Even the James Bond from the Casino Royale with Peter Sellers.
The parody, whatever, yeah.
Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Avengers, the British the British spies, not the Marvel ones.
Right.
Because believe it or not, there is one more group there is more than one group that has the title Avengers in there.
Well, and not only that, but the Dr. Evil was really based off of Donald Pleasance's portrayal of Blofeld. And You Only Live Twice. Yeah.
Someone knows their Bond.
Seen them all.
Right on, man. Someone knows.
Like Spectre. Other than that, everything else was good.
Robert Rose brings up an interesting point. And then we'll get on. Perhaps it should have been Chris Farley instead of John Goodman.
True. But he passed away a couple years earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Unfortunately he did, which stinks.
He did that movie with Matthew Perry and then passed.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Matthew Perry!
Every time I watch that movie, I get a little choked up, man. I'm a huge Black Sheep fan. Huge.
And to the chat, Cylon Scotty. Good evening, Cylon. Good to see you, man. Glad you could pry yourself away from the lounge and come over to the wing.
Right. Yeah, that was what he said. It was based off of Lorne Michaels, because that's kind of how he talks.
Just a little bit, yeah.
$1 million.
Mountains Elysium, you have a good night, man. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. And I'll see you Friday. And if I don't see you before then, Happy New Year. Of course, you'll separate the New Year before we will, because, well, Elysium is overseas. So, but yeah, honestly, there is so much good in this movie. There is no really wrong spot to start at. So I've kind of done my opening spiel. Where do you two want to start off with this puppy? I
think the first thing is maybe when we first meet Austin Powers, because like, who the heck is Austin Powers? Do you think he's going to be the suave, debonair kind of agent and everything like that? And then you find out, what? Who is this? Oh, it's like everybody's like, yay, and then you're like, what am I looking at? And not to mention the opening credit number. Yes. Oh, yeah. That opening credit number. Music, yes.
Suggestively placed things. Well, I like it because it man, there's just so much I liked about that movie. Like Elizabeth Hurley.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
at her most Elizabeth Hurleyest. Like,
Okay, I will say this,
Mm,
and this is a bad movie that I love, which I need to do another one of those streams. Okay, back on. I like her. You beat me to the punch, but yes.
but because that movie's so awesome, that's why, dude. Like, seriously, it's one of those great bad movies, and I feel bad because we could have talked about it the other day when we had that stream last time. I think that was one of the last times I was on.
Yeah, because it's been a little while since you've been on, but you've been busy and you've been doing things, and I understand. So no hard feelings.
Full dance card lately, but it's fun though. I love doing it. I mean, this is why I do it. I don't really do it to produce content. I mostly I want to talk to my friends, man. I like it a lot. It's great.
Same here, man. Truly. But yeah, and this is one of the few times a spy movie starts off with a big music number, like a big choreographed music number.
Yes.
And for the movie, it completely and totally works. It really does. It completely and totally works for this movie. But again,
it's one of the running jokes throughout the series that really stuck in my opinion. Like, I always got a kick out of watching the opening scene of an Austin Powers. It's like how he's naked, but someone's holding a cigar.
Yeah, we'll get to that scene where Austin and Mrs. Kensington get married. And again, just a little bit of a wink and a nod to for heaven's sakes, there was a James Bond movie where he actually gets married and retires.
I think he doesn't
live and let die.
No, on Her Majesty's Secret Service with the.
That's it.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
But what happens is Blofeld kills his wife before he can ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
And then Sean Connery comes back and wreaks havoc in the next movie. Like I said, I love my James Bond movies, man.
Yes.
George Lazenby was a good Bond, though.
He was. George Lazenby, I think, is one of the most underrated Bonds. And next to him, Timothy Dalton.
Well, I had Telly Savalas as Blofeld in that one.
That's right, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, he was the main baddie in that one.
Yep.
There are two things I've heard in my life: "Beam me up, Scotty," and "Scotty don't."
Did they sing that song "Scotty Doesn't Know" from Road Trip or Euro Trip?
I've actually never seen that movie.
It's interesting, but I don't know. It was 2000s teen comedy status.
But the interesting thing about this movie is.
Yes. Sorry, I'm laughing at Cylon. He's awesome.
No. Yeah, Cylon is awesome. Anytime like Cylon's in the chat's going to be. What would a mutual friend of ours would say?
Oh,
it's a certain element.
I'm gonna include him tonight. I'm a Cylon poster.
Nice. Very nice. But it's a certain element. It's a very hot element. I think it's called fire. Anyway, I think one of the things about this movie that I really love is it breaks all the conventions of the typical spy movie, but it does them in a way that still harkens back to the normal conventions of a spy movie. Because you've got the big bad, you've got the grand scheme. Well, shit. Let's just do what we always do. Hijack some nuclear weapons and ransom the world.
Well, not only that, but you have your fish out of water tail because they thaw him out.
Yeah, both Dr. Evil and Austin. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like he's kind of, doesn't know the decade or the decade that he's living in. It's like, hey, comrades, Austin.
We can't say that. We can't say that, Austin. And Austin's like, what? Why not?
Oh, yeah, capitalism.
Yay, capitalism.
He's got 30 years to catch up in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and the epic release.
evacuation commencing.
Evacuation come
Come, complete, evacuation complete. And also to the chat, Speaker for the Dead. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you. Hey, Speaker, I sent you a link for this, so if you want to hop on and join us, if you're not too tired from plowing snow, the link's in your DM on Twitter. And welcome back. Missed you, man. Truly. Man, getting all sorts of returning people. Got Brian on here.
Yeah, hey.
Him, and hopefully gets the other Brian, the Speaker for the Dead, in here.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
It's been a while.
It has been a
Too
while.
long.
Honestly, it's been a little while since I've just done like straight, just like pure review streams, and I've missed them. I mean, the watch parties are fun, as I said last night, but it's fun to just kick back and just break down a movie and enjoy ourselves and have a laugh and have some good conversation about it, rather than just saying watching it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna still do some watch parties this coming year and everything, but I'm gonna kind of get back to basics, just a little more refined and maybe a little better packaged. Because,
well, like they say, kiss it. You know what I mean? Keep it
simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. But I feel like I've talked, guys. You talk. Austin Powers. Let's dig into this puppy.
Well, I mean, I really love James Bond, so naturally this movie spoke to me when it first came out.
Oh yeah,
and it was perfect because it had just the cameos, and I think honestly I just want to say that's probably the best part of that, because the cameos in it are hilarious. Like I talked about Mustafa, which is Will Ferrell, and he was one of the funniest characters in the damn movie. And the problem is I think I'm not going to have this issue for talking about it, because I'm probably going to conflate at least the first two, because they kind of blend together, in my opinion.
They do.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, especially because there's like the to be continued kind of aspect of it at the end.
Yeah.
Or wait, no. See, I told you I'd get it already.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right, bud.
But no, I just think it was really interesting. And then I think who played her mother in the 60s?
I honestly don't remember.
It starts with an M, I think. But anyways, I mean, I thought that was really cool that, her daughter was the one that would, be the liaison, as it were, and just to kind of, I like the fish out of water part of it, where she was basically introducing him to the 90s, which I thought was just, that it was great. I mean, like, there's so much to talk about on it. So it's like, other than quoting lines and stuff like that, I mean, on the whole, it was the best of the series. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. Alicia, what about you?
Well, for me, this is the first time I had actually been introduced to Seth Green, and he started coming out more. This is where Seth Green really started shining. I mean, I can't really stand him on Family Guy too much, and Robot Chicken, he's decent, but this one, Seth Green shines in this, and they have so many references to other movies in this. Like, there's a little spoof of Star Wars in this, saying "I am your father," or that Dr. Evil and Austin are related. I'm not going to say how they're related in case you haven't seen it, but they are related to each other. And you're like, what?
Yeah,
there's like little nuggets in this, and there's like Brian was saying, that it feels like it doesn't feel like it's just two movies. It feels like it's one and the same.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't tie with it is the third one, but this one is like. And then this one, I think, kicked off the other spy movies that came after, like Agent Cody Banks with Frankie Muniz.
Yes.
I think this is what helped kick that out there, to say, you know what, spy movies are not just for adults. Spy movies can be for kids. And this one was kind of like adults and kids together, but it's a little bit raunchier.
Yeah, it's like it's more to the spy game besides Jack Ryan and James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the spy kids too, to say, okay, here's something a little bit raunchy, but do you want your kids to see this? Maybe, because you have the little mini me in there too, and mini me sort of like
Vernon Troy, yeah.
Yes, and he doesn't say anything at first. I think he finally says something like, I think in the midway, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I think he doesn't speak until like the midway of the third one. He never speaks in the second one. I remember. He might go yee like when he gets tossed up, tossed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alicia, you hit on something. Seth Green, but he had a role before this that really really got his star out there, and that was Buffy and him as Oz.
Okay,
yeah. I liked him in Rat Race.
Another bad movie that I love, Rat Race.
I don't know. Anything with John Lovitz, it's got to make you laugh.
Oh man. Yeah, and John Lovitz gets mistaken for a certain, let's just say, German leader.
Let's go to the Barbie Museum.
Yes.
But you know, the one thing about this movie that I loved, and there's a lot that I love about it, and I want to hit on this point. Elizabeth Hurley. Oh my word. Can you say they were playing up the sexy with her character? I mean, the first shot, they do the long pan shot, and Austin's, I bet she shags like a minx. And he's still defrosting. He's like, I hope I didn't say that out loud because I don't have any internal monologue because of the thawing process.
The Swedish enlarger. Instructions on how to use your Swedish enlarger.
This is not my bag, baby.
A book of Austin Powers. This is my bag, baby.
He's like, fine. And here's the crazy thing: we're all adults here. We can say it. The Swedish-made penis enlarger plays a part at the end of the movie.
Yes, it does.
It does. It does.
And I think that's a first. I think
it's the MacGuffin of the movie. What are you talking about?
Say one more time, Brian.
I said it's the MacGuffin of the movie.
Okay, and I was rewatching this last night, or was it the night before? I can't remember. But I just rewatched it within the last couple of days. I cannot believe I missed this, but I did. The drill and the warhead.
Oh yes.
Can you say phallic?
It looks like a giant hot dog.
It's kind of the references of the Naked Gun, like I said earlier. It's like Naked Gun without being Naked Gun.
It's a big boy.
But no, I'm talking about when they're down in the subterranean, Dr. Evil's subterranean base, and they're getting ready to launch Project Vulcan, and the drill looks very phallic. Mm-hmm. Let's just say it looks like a certain toy that Christian Grey and Anastasia Steele enjoyed together.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe
you want to keep hitting it.
I cannot believe I'm referencing 50 Shades of Grey in an Austin Powers movie.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Something new every day.
Woo! Okay, let's
try to rein it in here, people. They get stuck in a tunnel in a golf cart. And then a steamroller yards away and a guy standing in front of it. No!
You can run away, you freaking idiot!
Move! That's a very good quote there, speaker. Very good.
The machine gun jumblies. How did I miss those? Next time, try foreplay. Sorry, that's the second, but I love that. Speaker, why aren't you in here, man? If you're too tired, I understand. That's what she said. Alicia, I am sorry. This movie is.
It's so perverted. It's like what am I looking at? I mean, like, I know one thing that stuck out for this movie was Robert Wagner. I was like,
Robert Wagner is so good in this movie.
Yeah.
He is, because I'm like, who is this guy with the patch? And I realized, oh, that's Robert Wagner. And I hadn't thought about it until I saw him on NCIS where he plays Anthony DeNovo Sr. I was like, wait a minute, where have I seen Robert Wagner? And I looked and I said, oh, I saw him in Austin Powers. That's where I saw it.
Number 2. Frau Fabissino.
Oh, yes, don't forget her Frau. Oh, my word.
Bring in the clone!
No. Bring in the Finbots! Frau Fabissino. Okay, all right. And we've got to bring up this cameo because, Alicia, you brought up cameos.
Yes.
2 words, both equally awesome. Carrie Fisher.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was our princess. And then to see her in something that was non-princessy.
like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Say one more time, Brian.
I said like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Brian, it's funny you should bring that up. I mentioned this last night. Next year, I'm doing a director spotlight.
Ooh, let me know about Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. I'm actually doing 4 next year.
Beautiful.
Steven Spielberg,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, and Kevin Smith.
You got me a Kevin Smith, man.
You had me at Kevin Smith.
Yep. Clerks, Mallrats Chasing Amy.
Oh
Dog
my God.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Clerks 2.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm there. The View Askewniverse, as it were.
Yes.
I had this special edition of Dogma. I don't have it anymore, but it had like the video director's commentary. The Buddy Christ. I was Catholic at the time, so it was even funnier. The kids will love it.
And who plays the Cardinal?
Cardinal Glick, played by
another
Carlin.
You gotta love George C. Gotta love you some Georgie C. And man, Georgie, we miss you, especially now.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
For somebody to sit back and tell these comics to quit taking themselves so seriously. Clapter is not
God. But yeah. And I'll say it. One of the really cool things about this movie, the chemistry is so good with the cast because you've got people who aren't necessarily known for comedy doing comedy in this film. I mean, Robert Wagner, he was more soap opera and type of stuff. He wasn't really comedy, but he plays it so deadpan and so well. And I'll just say it. He's like, no, I'm sick and tired of you bossing me around. And his voice breaks, and it's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical when number 2's voice breaks.
I liked Michael York.
As Basil Bishop.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was Mimi Rogers played Mrs. Kensington, the older one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because wasn't Mimi Rogers in the British Avengers TV show?
Yes. Yeah. No, that wasn't her.
No.
She was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
That's it.
Okay.
Diana Rigg.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Diana. Yes.
And
the
dude from it was in View to a Kill
Hmm.
from the British Avengers.
Ooh.
Oh, A View to a Kill. I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
You said
he was
that real
he was
quick.
in that James Bond movie.
Okay.
He was the driver.
And okay. The Irish Assassin.
Patty O'Brien.
Patty O'Brien. That's it. I knew it was Patty something, but I couldn't remember what.
Okay.
I'm on the IMDb.
Yeah,
I forgot everything.
I forgot that Willie Nelson was in this too. I was like, I forgot he was in this one.
Willie Nelson was in this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was one of the cameos when something was falling from space, and it was like, it looks like a giant.
Oh yeah.
Looked like a giant Willie.
Yeah, Willie. Hey.
Like what?
Oh, that's
And
Mindy Sterling.
And we kind of touched on this, but we didn't really go a whole lot into it. The music for this movie. I mean, we talked about the musical number a little bit, but the fact that at the end of the movie with the big fight scene, they have a truly great '60s classic playing, "Secret Agent Man." I love that song so much. That song needs to be in more movies.
I just remember all the promo stuff for it before that movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like on MTV, they had it was on like every hour. Like Mike Myers took over TRL one time. Like there was such a big push on that for on MTV for that movie. Yeah, it's like the Austin Powers hour.
And everybody's like, "Who is Austin Powers?" And we say Shaggy, baby. You're like, what?
Okay, and we can jump into this and everything. You brought this up a couple of times already, Brian. The fact that this is a fish out of water story, and you're jumping from the 1960s to the 1990s, where the world has completely done a 180 or a 360.
Yeah.
And
in 30
free love, free drugs, free sex. And as Dr. Evil says, all these things are now considered evil. And Austin's like, no, dude, we were fighting for freedom. And now we have both. We have freedom and responsibility. It's a very groovy time, baby. I can do a decent Austin Powers impersonation because, well, the IBS sound as the pound.
See, that's why I want more. The problem, I think that's why we don't see much 90s nostalgia, because the 90s is when we started seeing nostalgia. Like, I'm like, man, we see a movie that's like based on the 90s besides Captain Marvel, like, and aside from the music, in a Blockbuster video, that movie, there was no 90s in that movie.
There was very little. Yeah, I have to agree with you. Yeah, that was a bit of a letdown.
As for somebody that grew up during that time period, it's just I'd like to see a little more throwback to it. Like,
yeah.
Why do the 80s always get the love, huh?
Well, because the 80s was awesome, and I'm going to talk about.
So were the 90s? No.
You're like, nah, no.
No, it was the decade where people stopped caring. It was like, whatever.
The 90s were like kind of sort of trashy in certain areas, but certain parts weren't trash.
You mean like grunge?
Well, yeah, it's like the music was kind of like the mood of that, and then you look at other things like the metal of the era and stuff like that. It's like Pantera, stuff like that. So it's just like angry, broody crap,
Yeah. And all these actors becoming singers and some of that, kind of like rappers and some of that, like Will Smith and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Oh man, Will Smith.
Oh God,
Wild West, man.
And that's why we had the rap video.
I love that movie.
Didn't it come out the same year as Austin Powers? Like, I want to say it came out in like 97.
I don't think so.
Let me see.
Wild West
that came in 97. Wild West came out in 98, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, Alicia. But the cool thing about this is, even though he's still in his 60s attire, it still works.
Yeah.
You just accept it. It works. It totally works.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, there are so many penis jokes in this movie. It's ridiculous because they're unpacking at the hotel. He pulls out his little Walther PPK. She pulls out her Walther PPK, and then she pulls out that big freaking hand cannon. I'm sorry. That cracks me up every time. And that look on his face, like
what am I looking at?
Where do I get one of those?
What? Who do I talk to about who requisition do I need to talk to get one of those guns?
And she's like, what? He's like,
Okay. And kind of touching, okay, this is going to sound extremely inappropriate, but at this point, with this stream, we've already passed it.
Well, I mean, we're talking about Austin Powers, so I think we left appropriateness at the door.
Family kind of guy. He's not the kind of guy you see pushing a baby stroller or asking to babysit the kids.
And just a quick shout out to the chat, Berserker99. Berserker, it has been a while since I've seen you, man. Good to have you here, and welcome to the stream. We're talking Austin Powers, as the little thingy down below says. Well, the little thingy below Brian. That's what I meant. That little thingy.
The ticker.
I made a banner awkward. How can I make a banner awkward?
The Chiron?
Whatever you want to call it. Yes, the Chiron.
Like we're watching news.
Except this is news that actually is fun.
It's giggle sticks. It's meat in 2 bits.
My wedding tackle. Okay, can we just say Vanessa Kensington, strong female character, and it doesn't have to be pointed out
because it was the 90s. They didn't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the time, he had Kate Mulgrew as one of the best captains in all of Starfleet. So.
The first female wanted that.
So I mean, at that time, nobody cared. It wasn't wokeness. You know what I mean? That's why it's like when people complain about it now and be like, "Where's representation?" It's like,
it's always been here.
Hello.
Dude, did you watch Titanic? Okay, like
not everybody can be Kate Winslet and look hot.
Yeah, but she was powerful too. She was strong. Exactly. She was independent.
She spit in Cal's face and told him to go screw off.
Yeah,
and Leo taught her how to spit. Leo taught her how to spit.
Yeah.
Spit
and Leo
like a French girl.
Oh, Jack.
Why have I not done a stream on Titanic yet?
Because I can't stand that song. My Heart Will Go On from
Celine Dion. And then there's only so much you can deal with the whole story. There's not much of a story plot after a while.
True. It has Billy Zane in it.
Story. The rest is just
okay. Billy Zane is one of the best things ever created in all of God's creation ever. We need more things with Billy Zane in them.
The last thing we saw, I think I remember before this one was, I know, Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 with Billy Zane, and then
easy way or the hard way.
And you're like, but then he falls away. No more Billy Zane. Everybody hated him after Titanic. It's like, oh.
Well, the other part of Titanic was the Bill Paxton cameo too. It's like James Cameron, Bill Paxton. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm. And the James Horner music became iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you, James Horner, for driving that song by Celine Dion into our brains to where it will never be erased.
No, thank you, Barry Gibb. Did you know the Bee Gees helped her write that song?
I'm not surprised.
I just watched a documentary about the Bee Gees, and I'm like, wow. They did a lot of stuff, like, more than just disco. I was like, wow. Once they quit making music in the 70s, they wrote music.
Yeah, they wrote the song Island in the Stream, which Dolly performs and stuff. Their version is not as good as Dolly and Kenny, so yeah.
No.
Great. So not only were the Bee Gees responsible for my conception, but they also they helped co-write one of the most annoying songs in the history of music.
What was it, Night Fever? Night Fever, Night Fever. Oh, okay. I like.
You look like Brian, I want to kill you.
The Saturday Night Live soundtrack is still one of the best-selling soundtracks of all
I
time.
remember that one in
Yes,
the show. The 10th Kingdom. They put that one in that one. Oh my god, I remember that show so much. The 10th Kingdom. Oh my word, I love that show so much.
Okay. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
I'm really good at sidetracking things.
We're all talking about different 90s.
Brian, that's okay. Last night, there was only 2 people on the stream who could actually talk about the movie because I had Mir on here. He's like,
I've never seen Mystery Men.
I had never seen it either.
Well, that's why they did the Smash Mouth music video. I remember that. That was the music video for All Star.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Another great little callback to a great singer from the 60s, Burt Bacharach.
Oh,
And Elvis Costello. What do you get when you fall in love?
Without David, all Dionne Warwick.
No, Elvis Costello was the second one, wasn't it? No, yeah, it was Elvis Costello and Burt Bacharach.
Burt Bacharach was in the first one, and Elvis Costello was in the second one.
See, I told you, just mesh them together. The part where they're pulling stuff out of the bags in the second one.
Well, actually,
or was that the first one?
That was, if you're talking about their guns, that's in the first one.
No, I was talking about when they're in the tent and they're like rummaging through the bag, and then a couple of the henchmen walk up and they see the pattern play. Okay, yeah.
I think that's the second one. Yeah,
one of my favorite parts with the tennis racket and the hammer. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay, Brian. It's fine. Well,
and then they dump the bag out.
Oh,
okay.
no.
All right, Brian, this is a question for you because Alicia, it won't really pertain to you. Well, it kind of could. Which was the better Powers girl? Kensington or Heather Graham?
Elizabeth.
I have a thing for the Brits, man.
I will say Elizabeth for sure.
So Elizabeth Hurley.
I mean, I like Heather Graham, but at that point in time, she was like fresh off of Boogie Nights, so I looked at her in a completely different way. So I was like,
she was okay, but I always liked Elizabeth. That British accent.
Yeah,
classy.
I don't think she was at that time. I didn't think she was that great of an actress. It was
she's still not that great because I saw her in my favorite Martian the movie, and I remember seeing her in that just recently. And I did not like her in that one, but I said, "Oh, I know where I've seen her before." My mom's like, "Where have you seen her?" I said, "Austin Powers." She said, "Oh, my mom had never seen the movie Austin Powers," but she says, "Okay, fine."
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to agree. It's not that I have anything personal against what's her face?
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham. Thank you, Heather Graham. But yeah, Elizabeth Hurley.
Classy lady.
She got my 90s teenage blood boiling in all the right ways.
That and the Spice Girls.
Oh yes, the Spice Girls were big in the 90s.
Oh my gosh, the Spice Girls.
I think that movie came out the same year too, didn't it?
About that same year,
Spice World. Yeah.
I think that came out in 96.
Yeah, because it was
1997.
Okay,
the year I graduated from high school. Sorry, Cylon.
The year I started high school.
I didn't start high school until 1999, so
I started fall of 97.
See, I was still in middle school. Then, because I started middle school in 97.
Are you seriously telling me I'm older than both? Well, Brian, I know I'm older than you, but I didn't. Alicia, I thought we were at least closer in age than.
Nope, I was in 85. I'm a baby. I act so much older. That's why everybody thinks I'm like, what? Because everybody thinks I'm so much older. I said, no, I'm only 35. And they go like, so yeah.
I'm the old fart on this panel.
But if it makes you feel any better, I am going bald up top here.
See, I'm the baby of the group. So
No, I am the baby of the group.
Multiple layers.
well, I'm
Now,
the female baby of the group.
now I really feel this was what Austin Powers must have felt like when he was trying to figure out, okay, where are all the people I used to know before I was frozen? Jimi Hendrix died of a drug overdose. Janis Joplin choked on
Dried
a head sandwich.
nose. He's like, well, who's still alive then? And then he listens to it. He's like, turn that garbage off.
And he tries to listen to a CD on a record player.
The turntables.
Well, the crazy thing is, record players have been making a comeback. Even records are making a comeback.
Of
They
course.
are.
Which is
Nostalgia.
At the time that records were dying out, records were like, because it was either cassettes or CDs.
CDs. Mm-hmm.
Well, you can get a good haul at a thrift store, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I have. I've got a lot of hauls. But 8-tracks were dying out, and then people were starting to get DVDs. Laser discs were definitely dying out, and VHS were just in between eras.
Yeah, we got my first DVD player around the time of Phantom Menace.
I think we got ours in 2002-ish. So yeah, probably about Attack of the Clones era.
We got one of the.
Because I just remember that was the first DVD I got, and I watched the hell out of it. Like,
What was the first one we got? I think the first one we got was a bunch of them. I forget what it was though.
Yeah, I've already done. I did a stream back last year about the prequels, and that was fun. Next month, we're going to do something a little bit different, which is going to be fun.
I do have half of mine to come in and give a more level-headed opinion on the sequel trilogy.
Well, Brian, don't misunderstand me. We're not just going to like critique it. We're doing something different. We're going to try and be a little more constructive. We're going to do like MST3K.
Well, it'd be kind of funny about it. I understand.
Yeah, we're not just going to sit there and rip on it like Mahler would do. We're going to. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna be watching them, but I'm gonna have them muted, and I'll be like, okay, what can I put in here that's funny, or what can I put in here that's funny, and everything, and we're gonna do it that way. We're not just gonna like rip on them. When I say roast, when you think of the word like a roast,
oh, you think Comedy Central roast, where it's like,
yes,
yeah, where it's a whole other kind of insult.
Yeah. We're not doing this to be mean-spirited and say to the people who like the sequels, poo-poo on you, you're stupid. You're not. You like them, that's fine. I don't care.
I'm not stupid.
We're doing this to try, and for those of us who didn't like them, to get a laugh, to have a laugh. And I think that's something that we'll get back on Austin Powers. I just want to say this real quick. For those of you that are going to be hearing about the announcement of the Ambassador roast of The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I want y'all to understand, if you love those movies, that is your opinion. You're entitled to it. I have no disrespect for anybody who does like them. But what we're doing is, because January is such a long bleeding month, and we're coming off of the holidays, I want to bring some levity and some humor. That's why I'm doing these reviews and everything the last couple of nights. We did, like I said, Mystery Men tonight. We're doing Austin Powers tonight.
Yeah, keep it lighthearted.
Exactly. Yeah, to do something fun, to do something funny, to kind of break up the monotony, because January is such a long, bloody month.
Yes.
So I'm not doing this to just rip on because I don't like them. I'm doing this to try and bring y'all a laugh. So, anyway, okay, back to Austin Powers. The thing about the story plot, they kept it simple. Whereas oftentimes with spy movies, they can get like really convoluted, but they kept it simple here. And the reason I think that was one of the really cool things, because sometimes with a spy movie like James Bond or Jason Bourne, which, oh my gosh, I love Jason Bourne. Great movies.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, Cylon. I'll bring up Cylon's comment here. Will said the Austin Powers soundtrack. I love that soundtrack. It like defined the whole summer of my teenage life. Cylon, yeah, I hear you, man. Totally. I need to get that soundtrack. Hey, honey.
I gotta see what's on it.
Say it one more time, Brian.
I gotta see what's on it.
Let me check that out.
Well,
I didn't even know. I was like, yeah, let's see here.
Well, kind of.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of stuff on there.
Oh yeah. Well, the same deal with the Mystery Man soundtrack. It's got all sorts of. It's I think a good word to describe these two soundtracks: eclectic.
That's why the '90s were awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The movies might have sucked, but the damn soundtracks were awesome.
Oh man, hell yes. Hell to the freaking yes. You know, okay, another great soundtrack from another movie, another bad movie that I love, Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
Matthew
the music
Broderick.
was good in that one.
Oh man, the music was so good. Okay, there were two awesome things about Godzilla 98 or whatever it was. The soundtrack and Jacques Renault and Matthew Broderick to a degree.
Oh, dang. Sorry, phone's going on.
It's all right, Brian. No worries. But
it's the door chime from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I know. I recognize it. Star Trek TNG, always a win. But that was one of the really nice things about this film. It was a comedic spy movie. It was a parody, and they were able to keep the story simple. Where with some spy movies, they get way too convoluted. Honestly, like, okay, for example, as much as I love Daniel Craig as James Bond, and I do, Quantum of Solace was a little too convoluted. Casino Royale was simple. Skyfall was simple. I haven't seen Spectre, and I kind of want to.
Don't waste. I'm usually one not to do that to other people, but yeah, that movie was that bad.
Was it? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I might go see. What's the one that's going to be coming out? No Time to Die. I might go
twist my arm. I'll go see it, but I don't know. I got so disappointed with the last couple of movies that I was just like, eh. And then I found out how Daniel Craig thought about it. I was just like, I liked you as Bond, and to find out that you don't like being Bond, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. So I kind of ruined it with Sean Connery.
I don't care anymore.
Oh, it's the same thing with Sean Connery. I was like, well, the thing is he thought he was bigger than the character.
Oh yeah.
And that the movie would fail without him. And it's like, no, you're just a number, bro.
You're just the first of many.
Well, to kind of harken back to the song "Secret Agent," man, they've given you a number and taken away your name. Silent Scotty, yeah, one of my guilty pleasure, sci-fi guilty pleasures is Screamers with Peter freaking not Peter, RoboCop.
Oh, Peter Weller.
Oh, Peter Weller, yeah, Peter Weller, yeah,
Bonsai or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my. I have not watched that movie in forever, and I really need to. And I need to do a review of it because I saw like clips of that movie. I remember seeing that movie like throughout my childhood, but I've never seen it like all the way through from beginning to end. And yet I want to because it's freaking Peter Weller. Isn't John Lithgow in that one too? I think?
John Lithgow's in it. Yeah.
John Lithgow. Yeah, John Lithgow. Whatever happened to John Lithgow? I miss him.
He's around, I think.
He's still around. He just doesn't act as much, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything lately. It's like Third Rock from the Sun, and then I was like, oh.
He was also in the Shrek movies.
Yes, Lord Farquaad.
Oh, yeah. Lord Farquaad. He must be compensating for something. There's another good...
He's overcompensating for something.
He's in that movie The Day After, that made-for-TV movie about nuclear war.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Silent Sky, Christopher Lloyd, yeah.
Oh, Christopher Lloyd, man. He
was in The Crown, believe it or not. John Lithgow was.
Star Trek 3.
Oh, yes. Krug. John Lithgow is always around. He does a lot of things. You know what? That's good to hear.
yes.
Honestly, that is good to hear. You know, he may not be acting on screen, but he's still acting. And I'm glad to hear that.
Awesome. That's great.
They said he did a.
Oh, that's right. He was in Dexter. I remember that.
I have never actually seen that show.
Oh,
I
it's
have either. They said he
freaking
plays
phenomenal.
Churchill. They say he plays
I
Winston
heard.
Churchill. I'm like,
I'm
wow.
afraid of a reboot, though.
Actually, Alicia, I have that movie. When Lions
Okay.
Roared, where Lithgow plays Roosevelt, Bob Hoskins plays Churchill, and Michael Caine plays Stalin.
He's also
Ooh.
I got that movie on DVD, and I still have not watched it, but I remember seeing it on TV when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this movie so much. And I finally found it, and it's been sitting on our shelf. I need to watch the movie before I go back to it. Wow.
not only that, but one of the greatest movies of all time in the 80s, Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh yes, yes.
I need to do, I gotta do a review or watch party for that one. I can't believe I haven't. Of course, there's so freaking many movies.
There's so many movies that you think of, and it's like, but you think of it and you remember, you're like, oh my God, I love that movie.
There's a movie that stands out. They go like, oh yeah, this is my childhood. This was my teenage years. Like this one.
Yeah, definitely stands the test of time. It's on HBO Max too. I just saw it. I was scrolling.
Yeah, it is. It is. But okay, we're gonna just go around the horn. Favorite quotes from Austin Powers. The first one. Let's try and narrow it down here a little bit. Keep it manageable.
Oh, I just think about when he says "groovy, baby." That's all I can think of. Where he's always saying that.
Yeah. Brian, what about you?
Throw me a freaking bone here.
I'm the leader. Need the info. Okay, let's see.
Preparation H. Oh, that was the second one.
That
Why
was
don't
the
you call it
second.
Operation Ass Cream Ass. No.
Okay.
How do you know?
I bet you. Okay.
I bet you. I bet you.
Okay. Here's a few of my favorites, and all I want is freaking sharks with freaking lasers on their head. But now my psychotic comrade tells me this can't be done. Well, we do have bass, sir. Mutated bass. Well, are they ill-tempered? Yes, they're ill-tempered. But that's something. Let's see another one.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about Frau Farbissina for a few minutes? Oh my freaking gosh. I love this woman, even though she's evil. But she's not really like super mega evil. She's like...
On the second one, we got Evil Woman.
Yeah, Berserker 99. I remember that. He was in... Lithgow was actually in the remake of Pet Sematary. And oh my gosh, that movie creeped me the hell out. And I've never even seen the original. And people have said the remake is almost as good as the original.
It's got Denise Crosby in the original.
Ooh.
It's about the only thing I remember about it. I'm like, oh, Star Trek. I stood shoulder to shoulder with her while I was in line at a Star Trek convention. I was like, guys, that's Denise Crosby. Trekkies, 1 and 2, come on. They're just like, who? I'm like, dude, fine. And then she was up on stage, and then I was talking, and like, oh, she was right there.
I have a cameo she did for free for me. I have that
And
on
you call yourselves geeks.
Right? Well, that's where I got this poster here, the TNG 25. I got it signed by a couple people.
Nice.
LeVar Burton was one of my favorites, though. Like,
Nice, Jordy.
You're kidding.
I
You
love
got Jordan's
so
signature?
I got Michael Dorn, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, and Marina Sirtis. When Marina Sirtis was there, I'm doing it now. I fanboyed out. It was bad. I couldn't talk. I was like, You were my. I was like, you were my first crush. I was trying not to say that because who didn't like Deanna Troy?
And she probably.
Just saying.
And she probably,
I
she
think I've
probably
heard this like a million times already.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
I know. I get it. I have boobs. Go away, you stupid yank.
Go away, you geek. Go away, you nerds.
And then she talked crap about baseball, so it kind of ruined it for me.
Oh no.
Well, she is British. She's allowed.
That is
Because
true.
okay, I'm gonna just say it. I have tried to watch baseball on TV.
Well, that's where you went. That's where you went wrong.
You need to see it in person. It's better
Boring.
in person.
That's where you
Boring
went wrong.
as
You
boring
have to see it in
as
person. It's
hell.
way better in person. In
I'll go
person
to-
is more expensive,
Right.
more immersive.
I will go to high school baseball games in person. Okay, like
I love baseball.
Don't
uh,
don't get me wrong. There are some baseball movies that I love that are anything.
Major League. Yeah, come on.
Angels
I
in the
heard
Outfield.
I didn't care for it.
Major League's my favorite. I loved it.
Same. Totally same. Let's see. Yeah, but Proud for Bissina. Oh my gosh, she's so quirky and yet she's simple. You're the margarine of evil. You're the Diet Cola of evil. Oh my gosh, Dr. Evil sounds a little bit like a certain president, or at least.
The way she says that, like, what?
Are those freaking sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads?
Freaking hits. I just said that.
Yeah. I'm just going through the top 15 quotes. I'm like,
Oh, from IMDb.
it's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
I know.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Richie Cunningham, and this is my wife, Oprah. And I'm sorry. Elizabeth
That
Hartley
chest
does
hair.
not look. She does not look like an Oprah.
Nope.
She looks
Nope.
like, well, she looks like a super mega fembot 5000, except she's human and has all the working parts. Because we don't know if the fembots. Okay, can we just talk about the fembots for a few minutes and how brilliant and just how absolutely brilliant they are? Love those. You gotta love yourself some fembots. And
No, this is me in a nutshell. Help. I'm in a nutshell.
I'm in a nutshell. You don't get many women of their caliber. You know, and the fact that they play Nancy Sinatra's "These Boots Are Made for Walking" when
my
the
God,
fembots.
Way better than the Jessica Simpson version.
Well, actually, it wasn't Jessica Simpson. It was actually Britney Spears.
No, it's Jessica Simpson.
No, it was Britney Spears.
Britney Spears? Yeah, no, it was Jessica Simpson that redid
No,
it.
it was Britney Spears.
Check
No,
it.
it was Jessica Simpson in the
It was
movie.
Britney
Duke
Spears.
Hazard.
I had the CD.
It's Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
Britney
Dukes of
Spears.
Hazard. Dukes of Hazard.
Jessica
Britney
Simpson.
Spears did the redo first.
She was a fembot. That's the only thing. Britney Spears was a fembot. That she didn't do that song.
Britney Spears did do a rendition of "These Boots Are Made for Walking."
No, it was Jessica Simpson, dude.
It was Jessica.
It was Jessica Simpson for the soundtrack of Dukes of Hazzard with Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Stifler and Jackass. No, Britney Spears was a fembot. She was in the second
Yeah.
one. Britney Spears fembot. My microphone I got off of Amazon earlier this year for like $40. It was cheap. The good thing, I like the boom mic, but I'm gonna get a new one here pretty soon. I'm borrowing. It's a Logitech 720.
I could have sworn Britney Spears. Okay.
She was in the movie, but she didn't do the song.
Right.
No,
She was in the
Jessica
second.
Simpson did. Jessica Simpson did do a redux. I could have sworn Britney Spears did a redo of or a rendition of these boots. I could have sworn she did.
No, that was around the time of Crazy. I'm in too deep.
Okay. Oh well.
Well, there was that movie that came out, and oh damn it! Oh, never mind. Can't get you out of my.
Oh my God! Yes.
That was like one of my favorite movies, like in high school.
What movie
Can't Hardly
was it?
Wait.
Crossroads.
Oh yeah, Crossroads. That was an interesting one. I like Can't Hardly Wait. That was good. It also had Seth Green in it, by the way.
Mm.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Continue without me, guys. I'll be 2 seconds.
But yeah, this movie, Austin Powers, has got so much in it. It's like humor. There's not too much drama in it though, but it's like it's more humor than anything. But even with the dramatic scenes with Austin losing his mojo, and it's like, is he gonna succeed? Is he gonna do what?
That right there. Yeah.
Can't hardly
That
wait.
movie was great. And Smash Mouth did another song, "Can't Get Enough of You, Baby," in that movie.
Brian
was in the music video.
Brian, you and me, brother. Watch party. Can't hardly wait.
Yep.
Do you have a copy?
No, I'm sure I could find it though.
You can probably find it cheap. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Voodoo or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you like your love burger? Well done.
Well done. Yeah, that was Breckenmeyer.
Breckenmeyer, and the drummer was
what's his face from Scrubs? Yeah.
Turk. Oh man.
Yeah.
He's such a huge Star Wars fan, and he's in Resistance.
Is he really? I never watched
Donald Faison. He's one of the aliens in that movie or in that show. But it's just he's a huge Star Wars fan.
I believe it. Who isn't a Star Wars fan? How can you?
Well, I don't know.
A certain blockhead in a bad helmet with no credibility.
I just don't think he gets it. That's it. I mean, like, yeah.
Oh, but you know what? No, we're not going to talk about the idiot in the helmet tonight. We'll leave that. We'll leave that for Enoch. We'll leave that for Enoch and Johnny.
This is true. It's always a pleasure to watch that 2 cents on nonsense show.
Yes, it is. And it's also always a pleasure to do my memes for them. Doom Collax. Yes, I am the person who came up with Doom Collax.
That's good. That's good.
I'm also
smooths you right out.
I'm also the one who came up with Doom Douche. When you're fresh and don't want to feel so fresh.
Summer's breeze.
And I also came up with Midnight Suns personal lubricant.
Oh no.
I came up with those memes. It's true. Ask Enoch and Johnny. They'll tell you.
They got the Friday movies on HBO Max now?
Yes, they do. And it's wonderful.
Oh.
But here's the crazy thing. I've only seen the second one. I never saw the first one.
I don't know. I kind of like the second one better myself. It was funnier than the first one, but the first one is kind of iconic.
Yes, I would agree. But yeah, back Austin Powers. Is there what else about this glorious movie have we not covered? Okay, the love story. I thought the love story was actually pretty well done.
It was decent. Yeah. It was decent.
It kind of seemed out of left field in the beginning, and then as she slowly relented, kind of thing. You know, he grew on her. Kind of deal, but
but you know what? It works because he's coming from a different era and a different time span, a different time period, and she's kind of rooted in the 90s, which makes sense.
And the daughter of his personal secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you can't have the missus, and I will say this for Austin, I'm actually impressed. Though he did flirt with her, there's a lot of flirtation between him and the elder Mrs. Kensington.
Yeah, it was more Monty Penny than anything.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't cross that line, and I respect that. I do. Even though he's a swinger, he's a ladies' man. men want to be him and women want to, well, be with him. But he never crossed that line. He would never try and he would never. I get the impression he would not mess with a married woman, and that's respectable. I like that. But he gets the daughter, which, hey, she won. Obviously, we've already talked about the feminine wiles of Miss Elizabeth Hurley. Just saying. I see that eyebrow, Brian. I see it.
Well, and then I had nothing against Beyonce, but
oh, gold member, no. She's a very she's not bad looking, but her acting.
No. That's what was wrong.
Yeah, I think that
I like the whole 70s concept or whatever, but like, yeah.
And Robert Rose. So Superman 2 wasn't Zod the only villain so far that makes the White House their headquarters?
No.
Yeah,
There was another one. There was another one. Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Lacey.
Lex Luthor did it. Lex Luthor did it, and then Zod took over later on. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otisburg.
Oh my word, Otis! Yes. Miss Tessmacher.
Mrs. Tessmacher.
Believe it or not, it has been years since I actually sat down and watched the first Superman all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see
the Donner cut? I've never seen, and I kind of want to see it. No.
I have. I've seen it like 3 times.
I didn't even know it existed. I was like, what? Because I knew about like the whole Richard Lester thing with the Salkinds and stuff like that. Because I've watched the bonus features a million times. But like, it's hosted by Mark McClure.
Oh yeah. See, I have all those too because that's how I found out that Christopher Reeve played the part of the control tower in Superman 1, the motion picture.
Oh wow.
Because everyone's like, yeah, Ambassador didn't know that bit of trivia until I did on my trivia one night on my stream.
Nice.
Yep.
See, I know some trivia too.
Hey, then that's cool.
Yeah, because I listened to the commentary multiple times.
Well, the one thing about Austin Powers that I have always appreciated is it encapsulates 90s humor so well. It really is a good representation of both the funny and the off-color and kind of the raunchiness of 90s humor. And it's a good representation across the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured I'd give you the heads up. Dinner just got here. I'm going to take off for the night. I love talking Austin Powers with you guys. I might actually go watch it now. I haven't seen it in so long. So you guys take care.
I need to find my copy.
I need to get some food. I'm starving. I didn't eat lunch today. So anyways,
guys, man,
have a good night. Thanks for having me on, Ambassador, and always take it easy.
You too, brother. We'll talk to you later. Peace. It is so fun always having Brian on. People, if you have not subscribed to Brian's channel, he does do content and everything. He just does it kind of sparingly, but what he does put out is very insightful, and I recommend you go give him a subscribe. But he is always a great guest to have on and everything. If you're a YouTuber yourself, go look for him. He's on Twitter and everything, and the Master of None. He may be calling himself the Master of None, but he is a master of much. He's got a lot of good head knowledge, and he is always a hoot.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute hoot. So. Oh, mercy. Oh. Well, at least I feel like we've really covered this movie, but is there anything else you want to discuss in terms of the movie, or just
yeah? But it's like I said, the thing is, the third one really didn't have to be made, in my opinion. I really don't. I mean, Beyonce's a decent performer and stuff like that, but this third one with her, it didn't feel right. She was good at the movie that she did Fighting Temptation. She was really good with that one.
Mhm.
But this one is just, when you put on the Austin Powers movies, it just, she doesn't feel right for, what was it, Foxy Galore, I believe. It's just
Yeah,
like,
something like that.
why? I mean, every one of these movies, you have a different so-called Austin Powers girl, and it's like, I mean, Heather was decent, and then but Elizabeth, I kind of was disappointed that we didn't see her in the third one, and it's like, well, where did she go? Where did Elizabeth's character go? Because I think
She
they
was
did
like
marry,
an
but
ultra
then we
advanced
find out,
fembot or something.
nope, it didn't.
Yeah, and that kind of bummed me.
Yeah, she was a fembot kind of thing.
She was like a backup fembot or whatever, and I'm like, I wanted to see more Elizabeth. I liked her in the first one. Why'd you do that? I mean, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I like it. There is a lot of good in the second one that I did appreciate and everything. There was a lot of good stuff. There was good stuff in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. But at the same time, I wish they had kept Elizabeth in. I mean, you could still have Heather Graham's character in there as kind of as a third spy to work with her in Austin. But I didn't care.
You could have. I mean, she didn't have the chemistry with Austin that Elizabeth had with her. There was some kind of chemistry out of it. That's how I can fund it. She had some kind of chemistry.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not ragging on Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me. Like I said, good, very, very good follow-up film and everything. I would have tweaked a few things, but other than the little nitpicks that I have, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I laughed just about as hard, if not harder, with Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me as I did in International Man of Mystery. Man, that's a mouthful. Yeah, positive candor. I would agree. Mini Me. Yeah, Mini Me was one of the best parts.
Yes, he is. And I think one of the things that's funny when I was looking over the quotes, I forgot where he was trying to eat the cat.
Oh, Mr.
He says, Mini Me, we do not eat our cats. We love our cats.
Yeah, the cat. We just got to talk about the cat for for a minute. Mr. Bigglesworth goes from a very pretty, very, very menacing white-haired cat to one of those Sphinx, ugly as hell Sphinx cats. Those things.
Yes.
Cats are supposed to have hair.
Yes.
Our cat
it looks like almost like a rat.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It didn't look right. I was like, what am I looking at? I was like, ew, what is that thing?
What is this? Cats are supposed to have hair.
What is that monstrosity?
What is this ungodly monstrosity that I see before me? It's a side effect of the freezing process. Mr. Bigglesworth
kill it.
His hair.
You look like, kill me now, please. For the love of God, just kill me.
Okay, and I do want to bring up. Okay, I cannot believe we did. I wish Brian was still here because he would. I cannot believe we forgot to bring up when the number 2's personal assistant.
Oh yeah.
Alata.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
A lot of something, and she's about to pour out her. And she's about to follow her just because she's got a lot.
She's really popping
out. Mini Me.
She's definitely a woman's woman.
In house.
Yes. Mini Me's always doing something crazy. It's like, Mini Me, stop doing this. Mini Me, don't do this. Mini Me. Mini Me is so crazy when he's carried around in this baby Snuggie kind of thing. You're like, Dr. Evil, why are you carrying him like a baby? You're treating him more like a baby than your own son.
Yeah, and I can't. Something we have. Berserker 99, you have a good one, bud, and stay groovy and stay swinging, brother. Have a good one. Good to see you. Yeah, can we just talk about Scotty and Doctor Evil's all that witty banter? I'll go get my gun. We'll shoot him together. It'll be fun. Shh, Dad, but Dad, shh. And just know before you start.
He's like,
For-
Dad.
That's a presentive. I've got a whole bag of shh right here. I hate you. I hate you. I wish I'd never been going to the lab.
I'm like, oh my word.
Seth Green was so good in this. I mean, he was. He was. This, I think, was.
He was. He really was because he really felt. Yeah, this is where he stood out really because, like I said, I don't like Seth Green that well. Mm-hmm. But he's this character you root for him. You really root for him because you feel so bad for him. You're like, you want to go like, come on, Dr. Evil, that's your son, and he's like, I don't care. Meh.
Yeah, totally. Well, and the thing for me with Scotty and Dr. Evil's positive and everything, I might do a separate review on Spy Who Shagged Me and everything. I will definitely keep that in mind. Absolutely. But with Scotty and can you just say absolute indifference on the part of his father? Because Austin's like, I got your son. Go ahead, shoot him. I was going to liquidate him myself anyway. Save me the trouble. And Scotty's just like, jeez, can you be any more of a jerk?
Like, wow, you really are evil.
He's not just evil.
Like, no wonder they call you Dr. Evil.
Mr. Evil. Excuse me.
The ultimate evil.
Yeah. I didn't spend 7 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. It's Dr. Evil.
And you're like, but
you are so
one thing that really kind of really was almost sick with him and Frau. Oh my word, him and Frau. Oh no.
I know, right?
And this one, they're not really much of a couple. It's like,
no,
it's so cringy, but you can't turn your head either, though, because you're like, oh no, oh no, are they really gonna? Like, oh no, oh
no. Oh goodness. Yeah, honestly. I think one of the highlights, at least for me, a couple of the highlights of the movie was Scotty and Frau Farbissina, who founded the militant wing of the Salvation Army.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And one other character, one of Dr. Evil's henchmen. This is my henchman, Random Task. And he throws a shoe. Because if he throws a hat, can you say copyright infringement? Because Odd Job from Goldfinger throws his hat and cuts people's heads off. So what does Random Task throw? Who throws a freaking shoe? And it doesn't even hurt Austin. So what's his follow up? Okay, I'll just choke you.
And this was just before they had the incident.
Yeah. And he's
because soon afterwards we had the incident with George Bush. He had a shoe thrown at him. So yeah, because that in the movie it's funny, but in real life it's kind of cringy. Like, why would somebody do that in real life? And you're wondering, was the person referencing these movies when he did that, or was he just being that cruel and evil? But yeah.
Totally.
But yeah. But yeah, this movie is like, wow. It's like, it doesn't seem like it was this long ago. And it was like, oh, okay.
90...
Because you sort of see what Austin probably was like back in the 60s.
Yeah.
I want to say 96.
It was like 95.
But yeah, you have an idea what Austin was like.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah, it was the beginning of these crazy, cheesy movies.
But
and Austin Powers, Mike Myers, he's so awesome in the different characters he plays.
Yes. And I'll say this: I don't think anybody else
This
could
was
play
before
this
he went on his downward spiral.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. That's very true.
Nobody else could have played these roles. Nobody could have played Austin Powers and Dr. Evil, and then eventually in Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me, Fat Bastard. Even though I know some people didn't care for that character, I kind of liked him. But at the same time, it's kind of a love-hate relationship with Fat Bastard.
Yeah.
And I hate using that word, but that's the name of the freaking character.
Yeah, he's like a character you love him, but you hate him, and then you don't want to see too much of him either.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, Alicia, I think we're coming on an hour and a half. I think we've covered a lot of ground. I think we've covered this movie pretty good and everything.
Oh yeah, we did.
And any final remarks and everything before we do close out?
I would just say that this was definitely, it helped rebrand the spy genre to say it could be comedic, and it could show that these actors could do spoofs without it being too spoofy. And it's got that iconic music where it tells a story well with it. And even though there's not a whole lot of scenery in these movies, it tells the story well, and it moves along quickly, and it doesn't. I think it was about an hour, not quite 2 hours maybe, but they move so quickly that it doesn't seem like it's that long when you're watching. Yeah. It just moves along so quick, and like, oh,
it has good pacing. I think is what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has very, very good pacing.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So,
mm-hmm.
I think for me, I agree with what you said. It kind of reinvigorated the spy genre and everything, and it did show that the spy genre could be a lot more expansive than just the serious, heavy drama-esque or action adventure-esque type of movie. You could interject humor into a genre like this and make it work. And I think that's one of the strengths of the first Austin Powers is it showed that humor could be injected if done well. And I think what we've seen in some other spy franchise movies, like with, say some of the later James Bond movies with, say, Casino Royale, where the humor was more cerebral. It was more of a thinking person's humor, but anybody could catch it. And even with, I know he's not specifically a spy, but with something like John Wick, which does have humor in it. At least that's what I've heard. I think that's another franchise that has. And the crazy thing is, it's going to be very hard to top this series of movies, or at least the first one, because honestly, the last movie that was kind of a campy, cheesy, humorous spy film came out actually before Austin Powers did, and that was the James Colburn Flint movies, Our Man Flint and Inlay. And actually, for those of you that have HBO Max, as far as I know, both of those movies are still on that platform. So if you've never seen James Colburn play like a 60s-esque or a 60s spy, I recommend go check those out. The Flint movies are actually really enjoyable. They're a great ride. They only did 2 of them, and everything, because James Bond was going at the time, or was about to start. And honestly, I think that's part of the charm of the Flint movies. There is only 2 of them, but they have a very high rewatchability because they are so goofy and cheesy and funny, and you get to see James Colburn in a different light, because he played a lot of heavy roles and everything, and so on. And this is an interesting, different take for James Colburn. Well, and as the case and everything says on some of the more recent releases of Austin Powers, with Our Man Flint and Inlay Flint, I highly recommend this movie. I was inspired by this movie. and it's Austin Powers saying it. So, but anyways, Alicia, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online and tell them what you've got coming up and everything on your channel?
Yes, so I am on Twitter. I'm on YouTube, which I have now 1,000 subscribers. Which tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a special party of sorts for 1,000 subscribers. So it's gonna be trivia, karaoke, maybe have someone interview me. It's gonna be a little bit of everything. So everybody is welcome to come on that. I'm really trying to get my watch hours up, especially on YouTube, so I get monetized because let's face it, YouTube is something I love to do, but the thing is that they have such high requirements for you to be monetized. They say you need 4,000 watch hours. Well, I've only got about 452, and so I need a lot more. So I've made the suggestion that basically, if you're going to watch my videos, just leave them playing in the background, leave comments on them. So yeah, I also will be doing some more celebrity interviews in the new year. So, like I said, tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing a special 1,000 subscriber party, and everybody is welcome to come to this. Come one, come all. And so, just look forward to having a good time.
Yeah, and I will if we're not too busy because we're having a little New Year's Eve party with some friends tomorrow night. If I have time, I will definitely stop by and pay my respects because you have Alicia, you bust your butt and everything online to try and bring us good content, and you do a good job. So, folks, if for those of you that are still in the chat, if you're not subscribed to this lady, go look her up on YouTube and subscribe and watch some of her content and give a small too. Well, she's no longer small; she's at 1,000. Let's get her over 1,000 now.
Exactly.
Show this lady some love
Please.
because she is such a sweet lady, and I have nothing but respect for her. And she is, as I've said before, with a lot of people that I work with, she's worth your time. So, as for myself, Friday afternoon we'll be back with the Council of Ones. We'll be continuing our Babylon 5 review, and we'll be discussing the episode, the Long Twilight Struggle. And I don't know if I'm playing anything yet for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day because, well, like I said, we're having a little party here at the house and everything. And but I might pop on New Year's Day evening or something, or maybe later this weekend I might do something. But I do want to let you all know I am currently working on part 6 of my Star Wars fan fiction, and once that is complete, I am going to do a master cut. I'm going to put the whole story together into one, maybe 2 videos or anything, and I'm going to give it its proper edit. Coming up next year, got a lot of stuff lined out. I'm already starting to put together streams. I got to start playing them out. As I mentioned earlier, going to be doing 4 director spotlights. We're going to be talking about Spielberg and Rodriguez and Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino. Going to be doing another stream, anything sometime next year, talking about and this is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, as I imagine it is for a lot of us. Can the Star Wars fandom be healed? And this may be a series of streams that I do because this is like I said, this is a topic that I think is very near and dear to all of us because Star Wars means a lot to a lot of people, myself included. And I'm also playing out some movie reviews, some watch parties. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. I am on Twitter. I am on Instagram. I am also on Facebook. I have started a Facebook group and everything called the Ambassadorial Link. So if you would like to join that, I'm going to be trying to post more stuff on there and, well, come join the fun. So, but that being said, folks, to all of you that were tuned in tonight and those of you that will catch us on the replay, I hope you enjoyed or will enjoy this stream. And if I don't talk to you all before the new year, Happy New Year. And until next time, these are the ambassadors signing off.
I have always been